Sometimes, we just need like Mel Robbins or Brene Brown to just kick us in the pants and let us know, like, hey, we can do all the hard stuff. And, sometimes life is poop, but we can keep going.
Welcome to the Other 99% podcast. I'm your host, Lisa Duck, a coffee-loving direct sales enthusiast who's obsessed with a good digital system. Come join me for a realistic look into the world of direct sales. We'll explore inspiring perspectives, learn about unique business tips, and celebrate success stories that often go untold. Because on the Other 99%, every seller matters.
Hey everyone, it is me, Lisa, and welcome back to another episode of The Other 99%. I'm here with Michael, Susan Larimer, and our special guest, Melina Dixon. I'm so excited to have her on the episode and very excited to hear your story. So why don't we jump in? You tell the listeners who you are, what you do, all that stuff, and please, please, please feel free to do a little bit of bragging on yourself, all right?
Oh, it's so hard to brag on myself. I'm going to try. I'm going to try. So, yes, my name's Melina Dixon. I'm a wife, a dog mom, so many things. I wear so many hats, but I'm a super positive person. I never meet a stranger, never. And I've been in the direct sales industry for 21 years now. Do you want me to share the companies
Yeah,
that I
yeah,
had been with? Like, do we name drop?
absolutely.
Okay. Back in 2004, before everybody could be on Facebook, I joined
It's
Mary
where I
Kay.
started.
I fell in love with those. Okay, I feel like I knew that. So I fell in love with those products. I actually started using them as a teen. My mom was a consultant and I was like, one day I'm gonna sell this stuff. Like I just knew it. And then, turned 18, life happened, and then eventually did join. But I was with them for about 8.5 years. And then I made a change. It feels so funny to say I retired. I did. I retired from direct sales. I was going to hang up my selling hat and just be a normal person. That was my plan. I'm not anything but normal, which I think is how we want to be. And I found Pink Zebra, not looking for an opportunity. I just found a really cool product, fell in love with it, wanted to support my friend, had a party, and then she set everything up at my house and I was like, "Ooh, this stuff is cool." I think I want to sell home fragrance and decor, which are words that I never would have expected to come out of my mouth. So I was with them for 12 and a half years, just until a couple of weeks ago. Now I have my own brand, Melina Dixon, Heart and Hustle, and I'm here to support my direct and social selling friends. I'm so excited about it. I want to be their cheerleader. I want to be their business bestie and just make them feel seen, supported, and really confident to keep moving forward in their
I
business.
So
love
can you
that.
tell us a little bit about what Melina Dixon Heart and Hustle is? So for listeners who don't know.
Yeah, so I feel like I've got friends in high places, so I've had really good examples of how to be a business coach, but I'm also playing by my own playbook and being really true to myself. I'm a fuzzy sock wearer. I like t-shirt and jeans, graphic tees, flip-flops. Like I always say I'm just a girl. So I like to train. I'm not always going to be perfect, but I feel like I've learned so much over my 21 years in direct sales. I feel like I have so much to share, a lot of stories that I think people can relate, with. And I'm really just trying to be a resource and a hub, another tool to put in your tool belt. Have, products, but I also have trainings that you can get a ton of value from. Even if you never make a purchase with me, I think I'm going to leave people kind of better than I found them or than they found
Yeah.
me.
And you have 21 years experience to share. That's awesome.
So why direct sales? Why stay in direct sales?
Why stay in direct sales for as long as I
Well,
did, or why shift
both,
to
both.
supporting
Like,
direct
why
sellers?
not do something totally
Okay.
different? You
Yeah,
stayed in that direct sales area your whole career.
I, I did. I did. Customer service is it's been my passion. I feel like I had really just great examples in my parents. My mom is truly one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. And I feel like I picked up on service from her. And then my dad I mean, he's very charismatic. He's Venezuelan. So I feel like I picked, I got the best parts of both of them. And direct sales just seemed like a great place to be social, to share a product that I loved. I never really saw myself as a salesperson, but the reality is I was. I just tried to be different than what I saw out there. Definitely we're not the car salespeople, but I don't know. It just seemed like the right place. Like I didn't have to put too much thought into joining direct sales way back when. And once I saw, the family, the sisterhoods, once I started building all those relationships, I mean, my customers became my friends and my team became my family. It was hard to walk away from that. I was only retired for 6 months. So I'm like Michael Jordan. Like I took a brief break, played some baseball and then came back to basketball. But I wasn't looking for to really get back into it. And then something about Pink Zebra just got me. I don't know. I felt something that I had been missing, especially those 6 months I was retired. And then I just have always had such a love and respect for just the industry. I know it gets a bad rap, but I think, man, I have experienced some incredible things. I've been in a hollowed out tree trunk riding down a river in Panama to go to an island to hang out with an indigenous tribe. Like, who
Wow.
would have thunk it, you know?
Yeah.
Not me. And I just, it just, I grew up in it. I feel like I found kind of who I am as a grown up through being in direct sales. And I just I have a giving heart. I know that about me. And it's, I'm trying, I do struggle like bragging about myself, talking about myself, but I just know where my heart is and my heart is with people. And so making the transition that I've made, I couldn't imagine not still being involved in that
Yeah.
space. It's just where
Yeah,
my heart
people
is.
who
Awesome.
know direct sales and we're in direct sales, like we get it. And it's so frustrating because other people, they're turned off for whatever reason. We're like, no, there's this treasure in direct sales that you make your own schedule and you're your own boss and you're making money on your sales and your team sales. It's not a scheme. It's just such a great career to have. And it's so frustrating when people don't see that like we do.
Yeah. They're not willing to give it a chance. And what they end up missing out on is so much more than everything you just said. It's the intangibles. It's the friendships. I mean, I just kind of hung up my direct selling hat just like I said a few weeks ago, and I'm looking at my customer group, and there are people in there that used
Yeah.
to buy Mary Kay with me. They have been on this journey with me, and you can't put a price on that. Of course, yes, it's great to make the income. It's great to earn trips if you earn them, but like it's
Yeah.
so much
That's a
more.
common theme on all of our episodes is the community, the relationship.
Yeah.
Everybody says that. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so let's do some name dropping since you said some things.
I know where this is
I know
going.
personally that you've worked with Amanda Todd. Have you ever worked with any other people we may know, or is it Amanda? Probably the biggest name.
So, yeah, okay, have I purchased things from other people? Absolutely. I have. So I guess if I'm gonna name drop, I'll just name drop. So at one point I was in Brenda Sturr's she had a subscriber
Mm-hmm.
program.
Yep.
Y'all are familiar with Brenda, right? But I never really developed a close relationship with her. I've also worked with
Okay.
Rachel Perry, who was the other half of the tag team with Amanda. Still stay in touch with Rachel. But Amanda's, when you just meet somebody and you know they're your
Mm-hmm.
person, like that is how I felt when I met Amanda. I started following Amanda and Rachel and the tag team back in 15. That's when I kind of started getting into Facebook parties. And I just really I loved their style. And I loved the thought of keeping business, making it personal, making selling fun. And then, they kind of did their own thing starting in 2019, and I followed them both, but I still just felt this kind of pull to Amanda. And she actually reached out to me in March of 2020 and asked me if I would be her customer service girl. And I almost wet my pants, but I was like, immediately yes. And like I don't know if you heard me, March of
Oh
2020.
my
It
God.
was
Yeah.
a different
Mm-hmm.
time. This was right before, kind of the world lockdown. And I said yes to working for her while I had a job in corporate America, a direct sales business, and not really knowing when I was going to be able to kind of fit it in. But I was like, this is an opportunity that you just don't say no to. And then, as I don't want to say as luck would have it, because it surely wasn't luck, but as circumstances had it, I now had free time because I no longer had to commute to an office
Yes.
every day. I wasn't going to the grocery store, I wasn't doing all the things that I was doing before. So I found the time to help support her. And we've just, our relationship grew. And not too long ago, she made a decision to pivot in her business, and just an amazing opportunity came up for me to take over her graphic and caption subscription. And I was like, again, another immediate yes. I didn't wet my pants that time, but it was an easy yes for me.
Yes. So that's exciting. I mean, I know how that goes because I had a similar situation with Becky Launder of the Modern Direct Seller, where I was in her academy for a while, and then they launched their web building site, their Oh My High site, and then I was asked to come on as their customer service person. So I was like, yeah, of course. And ironically, that was presented to me to go into more of a full-time role when my company closed down in January. So I love how fate just brings us to the right people at the right time. So I love your story. I love it.
So is Facebook your main platform where you train people? Is that where your trainings and your challenges? So Facebook, I mean, it's kind of people are like, I'm over Facebook. I love Facebook. So tell people why Facebook is still the place to be for social media and for direct sales.
So, yeah, love hate relationship with Facebook. Sometimes I'm like, I wish I had Zuckerberg's phone number just to ask, like, hey, how come people
Yeah.
aren't seeing what I'm
Yeah.
posting? What's going on, Mark? But I think it has a lot of features, a lot of tools. You have the ability to have community groups. You have the ability to have events. If it's my birthday and I'm having a party, I'm most likely inviting people through Facebook. Instagram is great. I guess I'm just a big believer in getting really good at one platform first. And I'm even experiencing that now with what I'm doing. I have an Instagram page. I made a YouTube channel, but I'm not really so focused on those spaces until I get a real good rhythm and groove with what I'm doing on Facebook. So I have that, public business page where anybody and everybody can kind of find me. And if they want to hang out with me a little more closely, then I have a group for that. I just think there's not necessarily another platform with the as many features as
Yeah.
Facebook right
And
now.
it's tried and true. I mean, it's been
Yeah,
around so long. It's a part of everybody's lives. I mean, there's very
it
few
is.
people. My sister, she does not have a Facebook account, and she's one of the only people I know who doesn't. I mean, everybody does.
Yeah, my 89-year-old mother-in-law has a Facebook page. You just ignore
Sometimes they
I
the
get
love
us
it.
in
message
trouble,
that
though.
that come and
Yeah. You're getting all the chain letters like
yeah.
send this to 5 people or you'll lose all your money kind of thing.
Yep, that's what I get. All right, so let's dig in and share with our listeners a little bit about some of the products and the tools that you offer, sort of who you're focused on helping, because we deal a lot with the other 99%, and I know that your products align with that group as well. But I also know that you also have tools for leaders. So just share what you can about what you can offer our listeners.
Yeah. So I'm sure we probably have similar, well, we might maybe not have similar definitions about leaders, but I believe everybody's a leader regardless of team size or title. And I actually just did recently a training on how to be a super leader. I wore a mask and a cape because I like to have a little fun. And I said, hey, if you don't have a team, guess what? You're the leader of your Facebook community. You're the leader in that group with your customers. And so what I'm sharing, some of it's going to apply to you. But, you know, really when I think about who I'm here for the busy direct sellers, which is probably all of them. I don't know too many people who would say, gosh, I just have so much free time and I don't know what to do with myself. I guess I'll go work my business. People are, getting it in where they can fitting it in the nooks and crannies of their life. And so I'm really big into organization. I'm really big into systems. Obviously, I love building relationships. And so I want to provide tools and training and resources and support to help those busy people kind of find the fun in their business. I think at every level you go, I mean, I've definitely gone through it. I can't tell you how many times, even over the last 12 and a half years, where I was like, I need to just hang my hat up. Like, this isn't fun anymore. And I had to go find the fun and figure it out. But I want to help those people who they've got a customer base. They maybe have a team, maybe don't. And maybe they're feeling a little stuck, lost, not sure the next step to keep moving forward. And so I'm hoping that, what I provide is beneficial to them. I think it
Provide the tools. So are we talking like, I know you do graphics, but I also know that you offer coaching. So what kind of,
I do.
support can they get from you in terms of that?
In terms of the coaching, so it's a small group coaching. That's kind of the design to have, multiple people at one time, because I know for me, I got a lot of really great ideas outside of my company. I'll name
Mm-hmm.
drop again. Kimberly
Yep, I
Polito.
do.
Kimberly Polito and I, we sat across the respective aisles in direct sales. She was team purple, I was team pink, but we became friends. We actually met through the tag team, and we're Facebook friends. She spent the night at my house. Like, I feel like now I'm really bragging. And I learned some incredible ideas from her. So, really hoping with the coaching is to have multiple people, different companies, because I think there's a lot of ideas that work multiple ways. So part of it is that they get to connect with other people, but really I want to dig in and figure out, what are they working on? Where are they at in their business? What's missing? Where do they feel stuck? I'm a problem solver. Very, like, I don't like a whole lot of shades of gray, like black and white. You give me a problem, like, I subscribe to vanilla ice philosophies. If there is a problem, I solve it. That is how I live my life. And so, that's really my intention behind the coaching. Now, who do I think it's great for? I think someone who, has been in the business for at least, I would say at least a year. There's so much to learn when you're new, and there's the shiny object syndrome. You think you've got to buy all the things, and I wouldn't want someone brand new to just feel like they had to spend so much money while they're still trying to figure it all out. But if you've been in a year or more, you have some customers. Like I said, maybe you have a team, but maybe you don't, but maybe you want a team. Maybe you're just lost on how to share your opportunity. I mean, people get really, really hung up on that, because just like with sales, we don't want to feel pushy. Sometimes we doubt ourselves. So yeah, I'm thinking of those kind of people who just need some help getting unstuck. I think that would be best for coaching. For some of my other products, I love trackers. Like I said, I love systems. And I think everybody should have a customer follow-up system. Like, customer service and customer follow-up is my jam. I think that's for everybody. So I do have a product called Follow Up Like a Rock Star. It's a PDF. There's, a guide to kind of help you nail down like what your follow-up system should be. And then there's paper trackers. And then I was like, I've got to show up for my digital peeps. So I made digital trackers, in a spreadsheet. I have a sign. You can't see it on camera, but it says relax. I have a spreadsheet for that, because I love spreadsheets. And so, yeah, that's for everybody. For the, team leaders who are trying to just manage all the things. And man, there's just so much that goes into it. You want to show up for your team. You're balancing your team and your personal business. You're trying to figure out, okay, what did I train on last month so I can figure out what I'm going to train on this month? When was the last time I talked to this team member? Just, it's a lot to manage. And so I've got a team tracker pack with some just simple trackers to just help people stay organized. I think when you stay organized and you don't feel like you're working from a place of like chaos and not having a system and a plan, I feel like you're able to kind of keep the joy and the fun going a little longer. When it starts to feel like work, like a thing you're clocking in for, then it definitely stops being
I
fun.
love trackers. Oh my gosh. You can see how far you've come. You can
Yeah.
see where you're going. And it keeps you much more organized. I love that. And I love your point about,
Yeah.
reaching out to get training from other consultants, because our companies, like I'm with
Uh-huh.
Lemongrass Spa Products. And for the longest time, they wanted us to do home parties, home parties, home parties. And a lot of us were like, okay, I did my home parties, but it's not where I feel comfortable. Like, I love being on social media and, online selling. So I learned a lot of that from Lisa, from different companies, different consultants. And now it just gives you the freedom to do business the way you want to do it, not the way everyone else in your company does it. And you can still be very successful. Yeah.
Yeah. I always,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
there's,
I was going to
go
say,
ahead.
I
Sorry.
always say that direct sales is direct sales, and it doesn't matter what company it is. You just take their systems or their parties or their tools they're handing you, and then you just implement it to work in your business. So I love that we're all on the same page there because it's so true. You can learn so much from anyone in the industry.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, I'm a big, like, I love to learn. I probably consume a little too much
I'm guilty.
content, but I would go down just like, yeah, I would go down the YouTube rabbit hole, and before you know it, I'm on, the bomb party girls, like like YouTube channel, watching people like drop fizzies in water, and I'm just like, how do I do this in my business? But there's just so much information out there. Like, I heard a quote, and I don't know who said it, but it said, in this day and age of information, like, ignorance is a choice. There is so much
That's
information
true.
out there. So if you're feeling stuck in your business, and you're feeling like, okay, the things that they're telling me to do, they don't jive with me. I need to find something else that works for me. I mean, Google. And doesn't YouTube, like, isn't
Mhm.
YouTube owned by Google? So, like, YouTube
Yeah.
is just another Google. It's a Google with all videos. And so there's just so much information out there. So, like, learn from other people. It doesn't have to be people like me, Amanda,
Find
Rachel,
your people.
Brenda,
Yeah.
Becky. I mean, there's a wealth of knowledge all
Ignorance
over.
is a
Yeah.
choice.
It hurt my heart
But it's
saying
so
that a
true.
little bit because it just felt a little stingy, and that's not how I am.
Yeah.
But, if you don't know how to boil an egg,
Right.
Yeah.
Google. You can't live your whole life not eating breakfast because you don't know
Right.
how to
Right.
boil an
Figure
egg.
it out.
Sorry, I'm an analogy queen. That's like one of my superpowers. I just come up with the weirdest, randomest analogies.
That's fun. Okay, so you have some kind of fun challenge coming up. Do you want to share about that? Okay.
I do. Absolutely, I do. So, yeah, so I have a posting challenge coming up. So, this is a really cool opportunity. So, I have the graphic and caption subscription called the Kick It Club that was previously managed by Amanda Todd. And people are always like, hey, can I just get a trial? And Amanda was like, let's have a posting challenge. And so I'm really carrying on just all the good work that she's done. But it's July 24th through the 28th. It's going to be in my Facebook group. So it's free to participate in. You're going to get 5 scroll stopping images. They're really good. And then you're going to get captions to go with them. You're going to have caption options. So you don't have to just stick with one option of what you should say with that graphic. There's 3 to choose from. Picking which one to go with might be the hardest choice, but literally in 2 minutes, you've got an engagement post posted in your group. And really, the intention behind the Kick It Club is to get people to stop scrolling and to start engaging. And people, look at the graphics and go, oh, they're kind of cartoony. And that's all by design. It is meant to kind of shake things up in the Facebook news feed and get people, like, it's low risk. Like, if I comment on someone's post, that doesn't immediately mean they're going to be in my messages trying to sell me, their magical, butt cream. Like, I mean, I probably need it, but I like to shop. I don't like to be sold to. But it's just fun. It's fun things. Sometimes it's holiday related, but mostly they're just fun questions that you're asking people about different topics to get them just kind of out of their normal scroll. And what's really cool about, having this posting challenge is people get to start having conversations that they weren't really having before, because you're going to have people comment on your post that you're like, oh, they were still in my group. I didn't even know because they had just been so quiet. And so when you start having those fun conversations, you get to build that relationship. I think if you can build, a friendship with the people in your group, it's so much easier to sell to them. It doesn't feel like selling. It feels like telling a friend, about a product that they really just need because it's going to make their life better. And so, this posting challenge gives people an opportunity to kind of shake up things in their group a little bit, try something new and a peek behind the curtain of what the Kick It Club is. And the best part, there's really fun prize giveaways at the end.
Because we hear this all the time.
Yes.
People are saying, my Facebook is dead. Facebook is crickets. Like nobody's interacting anymore. So this challenge is perfect for those people. Awesome. I'm very curious now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I
Well,
will.
you should
I
come join it.
will. I look forward to the link.
Let us tell the listeners, how do they join? It's in your group, but how do they join?
Well, they just need to join my group. So yeah, we have a little bit of time before it starts, but you will start seeing posts about it in my group. But find me on Facebook. It's Heart Plus Hustle with Melina Dixon. And I'm sure Lisa will be awesome and put the link in the show notes. But yeah, come hang out with me in there. It's a lot of fun. It's just, right now it's a smaller community. I know it'll grow over time, but it's my little corner of Facebook. And yeah, we're going to do the challenge in there. I have some fun trainings planned leading up to it too. So really the goal is to give people just maybe some education on, kind of just Facebook and how to, I don't claim to know the algorithm. I don't claim to be an algorithm expert, but I do know that if you feed it good stuff and people interact with it, it's like you get like cool points. And so I'm all about the cool points, but helping people kind of learn where their analytics are in their group, just simple things like that. Teaching people what's a good like engagement rate on a post. Like people will be surprised when they hear. And so being able to kind of compare how these posts are performing in your group versus what Facebook says is a good engagement rate. Like I said, I think people will be really surprised. So yeah, come hang out in my group. We'll have some fun leading up to the challenge, but yeah, that's when the real
And
fun
the official
begins.
challenge was July the 24th to the 20th.
Yep, July 24th through the
Perfect timing.
All right. Yeah. Yeah, just when we need to like get over that summer lull, right? Everybody wants to take a break in the
Yep,
summer, and it's like now is not the time to put the brakes on your business, people.
it is not. I totally agree. And honestly, I was thinking about the timing and I'm like, a lot of the direct sellers are going to
Mhm.
conferences and I'm like, they're going to come home so excited and kind of you come home. I don't know if either of y'all can relate, but you come home with pages and pages of notes and then you go, and now what? What do I do now? And so I'm just going to kind of and say, do this. Let's do this first before you go down the rabbit hole of all your notes and you know I just want people to have some wins. Like it doesn't matter how big or how small. And I think the posting challenge is a good way to get some wins.
So I'm so excited. I'm in your group, so I'm excited to see what's going on.
You are.
All right. I am all about systems, and I know you mentioned that you're a systems girl too. So I want to dive into your head for a minute, and I want to ask you, 21 years of direct sales knowledge and information shoved in there. If there was one daily habit that you would suggest that somebody needed to do to move their business forward, and you had to tell them, like, do this for 30 days and you're going to see great success, what would it be?
Well, I think you should do this 30 days and beyond. I think you should do what I'm about to tell you, you should do every day. Because I think mindset is so huge to going the distance long term, sticking with direct sales. It can be a roller coaster full of ups and downs. And I think the habit that I would suggest that people, adopt is just feeding your brain every day, whether it's learning something new or listening to a podcast. Hey, quick plug for the other 99%, or something, just something purely motivational, inspirational. Sometimes, we just need like Mel Robbins or Brene Brown to just kick us in the pants and let us know, like, hey, we can do all the hard stuff. And, sometimes life is poop, but we can keep going. Feed your brain something every day. We can get real, and I'm guilty. I get just stuck in the scroll on TikTok, all the dog videos, all the funny dancing videos. And I'm not really bettering myself. I'm entertaining myself, but I just think we got to feed our brains.
So when you do feel like you're kind of in a funk or you're like, what am I doing? Like when you get like that, how do you pull yourself out? What gets you motivated again?
Yeah, that's okay. So that's an amazing question because, yeah, 21 years,
Yeah.
there was
Yeah.
it got real funky. But here's what I did when I was starting to feel like I shouldn't be doing this, why am I doing this? Or I'm not having fun, or just any of the negative emotions that we can feel, I'm like, what's the quickest way to get kind of like a endorphin boost? I don't want to exercise, I want extra fries, but what can I do to give myself that boost?
I love
Love
that.
that.
I'm just keeping it real. But I was like, who can I reach out to, whether it be a customer, a team member, someone that I can just connect with, say hey, and leave that interaction just feeling good. That is what I did. Sometimes it was, reaching out to a customer to check in because, oh, I've been thinking about them for 3 weeks. Even being such a systems oriented person, I fell short more times than I could count because we're all human. But I would say, okay, who do I need to reach out to? And then, messaging them. And of course, they're like, not, well, this isn't always, but, there'd be situations where they would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you messaged me. I loved what I got. And now my sister wants one. I need to order one for her, kind of thing. And then it's like extra happy dance. It's like extra fries. So yeah, I just looked for that thing that I could do that was gonna, either check something off my list or just make me feel good. Give me that little boost. And then I was like, all right, I'm back on the saddle or in the saddle, and I'm just gonna keep going.
That's great. I love it.
Well, I love asking this question. And I know that you've already given a quote, but I'm assuming that you have a number of other ones up your sleeve. So
I
I'm
do.
going to
I
ask
like
you.
the
Oh my gosh,
exercise and
so
fries
many
quote.
quotes.
I think that should be hers.
Yeah, I'm like, share
Yeah, that one's mine.
share all the quotes you want, because some of the things that are coming up, I'm like just dying here. I love it. So if there's one quote or maybe more that you think that every direct seller needs to hear, what would it be?
Yeah, so I knew you were going to ask for a quote because, I'm a listener and I always love hearing what people share. And I really just had to just kind of keep it simple and share a quote that I've loved for so many years that just, it's been my desktop background. I've shared it multiple times, and it's the greatest source of happiness is the ability to be grateful at all times. And so, over this roller coaster of 21 years, there were plenty of times that I compared myself to other people. You can't, it's hard not to. Like I said, we're not robots, we're humans. And it's easy to say, like, keep your blinders on and run your race. Those are all, nice words to say. But the reality is that we're looking to our left and our right, and we're seeing people join after us and surpass us. And we're seeing people come in and just blow like our best month ever out of the water and sell, 3 times what we sold that we were so proud to sell. And I just try to remember, like, be grateful for this life that I have and, this journey that I've been on because it is something special. And, there are plenty of people who would love to be in my shoes, even on my worst day in direct sales. And so I'm all about kind of keeping things in perspective. And I think, the more grateful I am, yes, the more happy that I am. And the more happy I am, the more productive I am. And that just opens the doors for opportunities. So
That's a good one.
that's my quote.
I love that, because no matter what people think, there's always someone looking up to you. Always. Whether it's a family member, a team member, a sideline, something like that. It's like there's somebody there who sees you doing great things and they're like, wow, right? Like you were saying. And we need to really, really take that into perspective. So I really love that. All right. Well,
Yeah. And I don't think I gave him credit, but that's
Zig
Zig
Ziglar.
Ziglar's quote. I don't want anyone to
No,
think
you
I
just
made it
yeah,
up because
right.
I can't write all the quotes.
That's a Melina Dixon original.
Yep.
Well, Melina, I want to thank you so much for joining us. And I'm going to be sure to put the links for your group and your website in the show notes because people need to go and find you. I love the graphics. I love the KK Club graphics. They're so cute. And like you said, scroll stopping, because somebody sees like a cute little cartoon graphic and they're like, whoa, what's going on here? Everybody wants to read a cartoon graphic, right? And the interaction is great when they use them. So I'll drop the links, and I know that there's going to be a ton of takeaways from what you shared today. So I appreciate you being a guest, and we will see everybody on our next episode of The Other 99%.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having
Bye.
me.
That's a wrap for today's episode of The Other 99%. We just want to say thank you. It truly means the world to us that you're here. Lisa and I absolutely love creating these episodes for you, and we're so grateful to have you in our community. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to like, share with a friend, leave a review, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode. We drop fresh content every Tuesday. Got thoughts, questions, or ideas? Leave us a comment. Want to be a guest on the show? We would love to chat with you. Apply by clicking the link in the show notes. Thanks again for spending time with us today, and we'll catch you on the next episode of The Other 99%.